Hello, if you've just joined, welcome to the video. We're just doing a short running session today. So I've changed up the routes a little bit. We have some more interesting running happening. At the moment I'm just showing you the fiddle yards, bits coming in and out of there. It's all fun to watch. Hello, the Heritage Line, thanks for joining. Good to see you again. I haven't been doing much recently. I've been mainly working on the software to get some more interesting running happening. How was my Christmas? Good Christmas, but no modelling items, I'm afraid. No model presents, which is a shame. But there's always next year. This year looks good though for deliveries of pre-orders I have. So I look forward to them. How was your Christmas? Hope you got some good modelling presents yourself though. I'm going to move you guys around now, have a look at a different part. Maybe we'll actually watch from here. There we are, that's interesting. New decoder tests, so they look interesting then. I forget what company makes them now, is it DCC Concepts? Just seeing the picture of an abandoned screw. We should get rid of that. Oh yeah, ESU tester, that's it. I've been thinking about getting one of those myself. I just don't understand how they work yet. get rid of some of that. If I can squeeze by, ooh, get rid of some of this junk off the layout. Look a lot better. Put the station building where it actually belongs. Just there. There we go. That's better. Yes. That'd be good. I look forward to seeing some of your hard wiring then, and what you do with them. So for me, there's a new plan in the works. So the branch line just here, going off into the back, there's only 3 fiddle yard bays out the back for that. I found it very, very restricting. So this is the first news you'll hear of it on my channel. See there, it's only got 3 bays it goes into. You see the left-hand side one? I'm going to branch off of that to bring a 4th bay up to the DCC testing line, which you can see there, just a straight piece of track on its own. And then it's going to branch back on itself, and we're going to have a load of short sidings just here. So train would come out here, go down there, kick back, and then come out onto the line. So we're going to add 5 more bays to the model. That way we can have a lot more variety, and how do I put it, the trains run less frequently, but a different train each time rather than the same trains. So we can increase our yard capacity out the back from, well actually it's going to go up to 9 from 3. So that'll be good. I just discovered in iTrain you can't actually stack trains on top of trains in the same siding. If they're on the same, if they're on a set route, you can only do it manually. So I'm going to have to fix that with some more hardware, so I'll have some more track, more points, and more feedbacks. And that way we can fit in a lot more. Whoa. Do you say you was going to attempt a 08 Pool Graham Farrish unit? Hiya, I'm going to guess your name is spelled or pronounced Zaf. Is that right? Have I got a track diagram? Yes, I do. Come this way. So on the iTrain, here look, there's my little town scene. That's coming on now. But over here, if you look at my, here look, it's a tunnel effect now, isn't it? See, look at that. If I can get it on the screen, I'll show you the track diagram as it is. There you go. That's what we're currently working off of. you can see where I've actually planned the new extension as well to the fiddle yard. So I haven't joined it up just here. But that will kick off of those 3 off the 3rd siding there. And because it's all automated, having a head shunt siding is actually not too bad a thing. The computer can just work it out and shunt stuff really, really quickly and easily. Whereas if it was me, I'd be derailing stuff all the time, so it's not the end of the world to do that. In fact, it adds a lot more operational interest to me. But yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment. And you see, the roots are now lighting up blue. That was my attempt to get the software to shunt the trains on top of each other in the siding, but it wasn't to be, I'm afraid. So we'll be just adding more sidings. Now I'm going to bring you back to the layout again. There you are. Now I'll be doing progress updates for sure. I never skip a reason to have another video. Ah, the heritage line, thank you, absolutely. Signalling, yes please. Because I have no idea where the signals are supposed to go, and we will be doing signalling in the future. Working signalling from CR signals, so I'm going to get a screenshot of that straight away. I've actually just uploaded that to the Rule 1 Model Railways Facebook group. So that's quite an interesting thing to look over as well, to be fair. I never really thought of doing that, so thanks for that, I appreciate it. So, for the fiddle yard extension, we're actually going to try all using the MP1 point motors and the DR4018 decoder, accessory decoder units. The reason for that is I was looking at Jeff Hammond's Flint Hills model railway, and they seem to be incredibly strong and reliable. And for a fiddle yard where every single train movement is going to require the points going, they just seem like a no-brainer to use. In fact, if there'd have been more information, we are where we are now. So as you can see in the description below, we're now starting to add more information about the channel and the units we're using as well. So I'll start leaving links to all different stuff that you can see on these videos, just for interest really. Adreno, I'm afraid not. It's not my main thing. I have more off the peg solutions than that, I'm afraid. Let's show you over here for a bit. If it will focus past the building. There you go. Set of hunt couplings just there. It's amazing how much I see that's just sitting around when I'm not thinking about it, and I put the video on, I just see everything all messy. Yes, if you have an electronics background, it probably is the way to go. You say simple, I find this simple myself, using the iTrain and the DigiKeys equipment personally. The Arduino stuff for me just looks like rocket science. But as you can see now, lots more trial and error with the software. We have much more prototypical running. The headways between the trains are now realistic. And the routing system's working out a lot better for me as well. We now have multiple trains taking multiple routes. Especially the 150s, they go all over the place on the local and the branch. Appreciate that. I think the headways are giving trains a nice big long run round, which looks a lot better. rather than having the queues for trains before. Every now and then I still get a train queue behind another, like in the real world, but it's only every now and then rather than all the time. Oh, the heritage loan, that is something for the future. When I do that, I'm going to be ripping up a load of the scenery to do it. Doing it myself with the wire in N-gauge was too difficult. I did find a company that makes the roadway out of plastic for you, to the dimensions you want, but at the moment it's far too expensive for me to justify, considering I have a half completed layout. I need to complete more of the layout before I start looking into doing that, I think. But it is something in the long-term future that we will be planning on. It depends on where your layout's set, really. Yeah, local trains being stacked with express trains running through, that's a very, very urban sort of train diagram. So if you're making an urban layout, then absolutely. So like a city-based one. If you're doing more countryside rural, then you tend to have like a train every half hour or so you'd never have any stacking. But as you say, it will look really good. Hello Midcott, thanks for joining. Yeah, suburban, exactly. So I've got a few ideas in mind actually to build a few more layouts based on the automation. Maybe one with a terminus station with say 8 or 9 platforms on it. Then you can have trains snaking in and out across the throat of the junction all automatically and simultaneously. I think that would look brilliant. But finish this one first. And Zaf, yeah, that does sound good. So we have a couple of Class 800s on order. On the pre-order, we have some Pendolinos on order as well, just because. Hi James, welcome to the channel. Good to see you back. There's a pacer going by just for you. There you are, Lidcott, that answered your question. Yeah, I have 4 steamers, I think. 3 or 4. Let me just have a look. 1, 2, 3 steamers I have for this layout. So I have that standard 5. I've got 4 MT tank, and I've got a coronation class full railway in modern times, in real life as well. So. Yeah, Gotham would be a great idea. Thanks, Zaf, I appreciate it. All given different priorities, which ones can proceed first. which ones have more right of way than the others for block reservation. So the expresses would always reserve the blocks before the locals can get hold of them. So the local will sit in a base platform or something whilst the express thunders past. And the same for going across the junction as well at the other end. But my steamer has the highest priority, being a steam special. In the real world as well, I don't really like to stop those in the platforms. They'll stop them in like a siding somewhere to take on water and coal, but they won't ever stop them in a platform if it's not scheduled to stop there, if they can help it. Hi J94, welcome back. So did everybody watch the Hornby live stream earlier? All those new Venices, it looks like they've outdone themselves this year for Modern Image. Even though I don't model 00, I was excited to see all that stuff. I really like the idea of the Welsh set. They've got the 67s, the Mark 4s and the Mark 4 DBT. They look very interesting to me. If I was going to make a model railway in 00, I'd certainly be buying that. Yeah, the little end would be really handy for us actually. I miss that, but the prices recently of all that stuff have skyrocketed. I think it looks better as a model than it does in real life. So the little end range was a series of resin moulded buildings you could buy for N-Gauge. Just like Graham Farish, is it Scenecraft, I think they do. They do their N-Gauge version of that. It's the same sort of thing. They were good. I think they were ever so slightly out of scale, but they did look really good though, regardless. Hi Pete, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, exactly, all the Gothland buildings. So they did nice little sets of things that all went together. So you could actually build a model railway based on a set of buildings they had. Yes, I've been contemplating, actually with the Thomas sets in N-Gauge that they're doing now. Who's doing it? I can't remember now. Is it Bachmann are doing the N-Gauge sets for Thomas? I think I might get one of those for this for when we go to the exhibitions. And using the iTrain activation function, so you can have like actions happen as the train goes round. Have the Thomas the Tank Engine theme tune start playing as it comes out the tunnel, and when it goes in the other tunnel at the other end, it stops playing. So have it activate and go around the track every 5 minutes. So I think the kids would really love that. Yeah, that'll probably be my first time ever hardwiring something that with the Thomas ones. Makes me sort of nervous, but I give it a go. Maybe I can do a video on my first try and show you how it goes. I might stick underneath one of the tunnels, I might stick a short siding underneath there to hide Thomas, you see. So that it's completely hidden from public view until it just suddenly pops out. And the theme tunes start playing. I think that would be really funny. We could do that with the set track sharp curve points. What they call ST5 and ST6. So you get a really short siding in underneath the tunnel. It won't really matter too much because nothing else apart from Thomas to go over it. Yeah, that P2 actually really surprised me. It looks amazing. I was looking at it thinking that that streamliner looks wrong. It's got 8 wheels rather than 6. What's going on here? Then I realised it's a P2. It would actually. I think they did make one in the past. Yeah, that would definitely be a good seller, that one. One of the best sellers, I'd say. I'd say I didn't hear when they release it, but probably release it in September, October time, ready for Christmas. That would be high on everyone's priority list, I'd say, for Christmas. If they're clever, that's when they'll release that one. Wow. That's amazing, Hornby are doing that. Hornby are actually investing a lot of money recently. A lot of money in new tooling. Whether that's because of this year's trading conditions where they sold a lot more and made a lot more money, or whether it was just part of their overall maybe 5-year plan or something like that, I don't know. But I was very surprised to see the amount of new stuff coming out. Maybe they expect this lockdown situation to go on for maybe a lot of next year as well, so expect trading to continue as it is. Yeah, I can't wait to get another Worley show. The ones I like to see, Alexander Palace, Worley. I go and see all of those. I fly over from Ireland. We're actually based in Ireland here, so I fly over because the airports are not far away from all of those shows. One thing's for sure though, the first shows that open up are going to be absolutely ram-packed. There's a lot of pent-up demand for shows, and people are now more than ever willing to travel a little bit further once everything clears up, I'd say. So Alexandra Palace was the first big show that I went to as a child, and really enjoyed it. I'd spend the whole day there, as soon as it opened to as soon as it was closing. With the Worley show, I think I might actually spend the whole weekend there this year if it happens. I'll book an overnight stay somewhere. The Worley one is the one that's worth travelling for. If you're doing any travelling in the UK to a model railway show, Worley's the one to go and see. Ah, the Heritage Line, very good. I'll have to go and see you up there in Scotland then. And I'd like to go to see that one in the Netherlands. What's it? The Eurosport, I think it's called. It happens every 2 years. That's supposed to be really good as well. And again, for me, it's near Amsterdam Airport, so that's easy for me to get to. When I say near, it's about 70-80 odd mile away, but the trains there are very good for that. That's a good point actually, whether that will go ahead, because it was a Nightingale hospital. So I'd really like to know that. So on Ryan Holland, I really want to see that. Definitely spend the weekend over there for that one. Oh yeah, of course, Scotland one is won't happen because that's early in the year, isn't it? What is it, February or March time? So that won't go ahead this year, next year. Ah, the Great Central one in Loughborough, the Model Railway event is brilliant as well. I've been to that twice. And luckily for me, that's through East Midlands Airport for me. I take the bus down to Leicester from East Midlands Airport, and then I get on it straight away from there. I love that that model railway event. That's brilliant, that one. Hi Ben, thanks for joining. Christmas is good. No model railway presents this year, I'm afraid, but there's always next year. Yeah, the Irish, a lot of Irish go to the Glasgow show. They're actually based from Wexford. The Wexford Model Railway Club run an annual trip up there. So that Wexford Model Railway Club's about 60-70 miles away from me. They drive up to Dublin and fly out. And I know that because every time I get on the plane, I'm sat with them all. I'm not joined with them, but I seem to see the same people with the same Wexford Model Railway Club t-shirts on every year. Yeah, Paul Sheedy. He's around Wexford area. Oh, Wicklow, sorry, he's from. Then, only software based, and the Class 150s now go everywhere on the local lines and the branch lines with their routes, and the one you see going around now, the Premier train, on the branch line, that also goes on the main line as well now, which it didn't before. Then we also have an announcement I made today. We're going to be extending the fiddle yard for the branch line. We're going to create a head shunt, and into the unused space where the curve is, we're going to have enough space for 5 or 6. And that's all going to be computer controlled as well. If the computer's using the head shunt, it really doesn't really matter if there's a head shunt there. It just adds to the interest, to be fair. I really can't wait for the shows to come back. I can't wait for this layout to have its debut as well. So hopefully when the shows come back I might get a booking. J-Max says, where did I learn to wire from automation? I didn't. I just went at it. Everything I needed to learn, I just asked somebody, went on the internet forums and just kept searching until I found the answer. Nobody taught me outright. But the main point of contact I found, and everything always leads back to this one person, is James Hudson from DCC Train Automation. He's the guy to start off with if you want to really have an in-depth conversation of what. Ben, you say it sounds like quite a bit of work. But if you ever made a DC layout with lots of isolating sections on it, the way that works is very similar to this sort of automation that I've used. Instead of using those isolating blocks, you wire them onto a unit which then relays the information from those blocks into the command station, and that's it. You just configure the software for it from there, and that will tell the software where all the trains are. The Heritage Line, thank you very much. And yes, I'll take you up on that offer. So most of the shows we'll be going to in the UK, I have to take this over on the ferry from Ireland, so I'll either be going through Holyhead or through Pembroke area, so South Wales and North Wales, and driving on to the mainland, and I'll be combining it with a trip to London where my parents are. So anything between those points, Holyhead to London and Wales, South Wales to London, and sort of maybe 50-60 miles off of that course, and anything in between, any of those shows I'm open to going to. See, the thing is, shows won't pay the expenses to get this over there. It's just too expensive on the ferry. But if I combine it with a trip to the UK, they like to pay part of the expenses, so it makes it affordable to do the detour and an overnight stay to exhibit it. And then obviously I pay for the ferry to drive to my parents' house. Ben, yes, I would suggest instead of using the printing, what they have these like bottles you can buy of ink, and you just pour those into your printer. They're a lot cheaper to have than buying cartridges all the time. Even if you have to change your cartridges 4 or 5 times, that will pay for the new ink tank printer you have to buy with these. And then obviously you have an ink tank printer to play with for the rest of the time it works. So. But yeah, they'll keep you busy at home, and they're brilliant for use in lockdown. So I don't have to go out and go get any models. They get printed out straight in my living room. So what I have is an Epson ET2600. So that'll give you an idea of what I use, but you can buy loads of different ones. I'll tell you what, I'll show you it. We'll move the camera around and we can have a look after the steamer's gone by. We all like the steamer. There it goes. So actually this bridge here was printed out and stuck onto the wooden support structure, and all the road system was all printed out as well using this printer. And I haven't even used one tank of ink yet. But that printer is up here. It's one of those, you see? Epson ET2600, and it's got the tanks in the side. You can see they're full up with ink, and you just fill those up. It's much cheaper. And I've inadvertently shown you a project I'm working on. Do you see that there? I'm going to put you guys back down again. So in preparation for the end of lockdown, if I can find my camera that I use with this, here it is. So when I go out and about, I use the DJI Osmo Pocket to film. And a lot of my videos on this channel of the model railway, I've used this camera because of the quality of it is really good. And it does 60 frames a second and 4K videos. I bought myself one of those. I think you can see where this is going. I'll pop that there. If I face that up the way, the camera on top, just like that, this can then place on top of this. And we get a brilliant load of shots of model railway. And as you can see there, it's completely gimbaled. The perfect camera, it fits in all the loading gauges for 00. We're going to be taking that out to people's model railways at their homes and filming their model railways. So we're going to have a lot of guest appearances and things like that in the future. And the deal is that I give you the footage off of this. You can do whatever you want with that. You get professional footage. And I get to make a feature on my channel of your model railway. So it's a win-win, really. This camera, I have it in the description below actually. It's a DJI Osmo Pocket. So because I do a lot of flying, this can go in your pocket, you see. And I haven't got to carry an extra camera bag and pay for the hold fees and all that. But I'm open to even flying to the UK and doing guest spots on different model railways. If you put me up overnight and I can fly back the next day, then absolutely. Or even attempt a day trip. They come with these little cases you put them in, like, and just carry them in your pocket. So just sort of slot in. Used to carry a little lorry inside it, you see, and I thought the lorry looks the same sort of size as the camera. And that used to fit in like that. I took off the fitments where the front dolly wheels would have fit on it. And now it's a nice big flat base for the camera. It fits wonderfully. And when it's rolling along, it's silky smooth. I just got to find a 00 gauge layout now to go film. Yeah, I just need an N-gauge one. I've got a little cube camera, but because it's so small, the quality is so bad. There just isn't any good cameras at the moment that fit N-gauge in the loading gauge. So to get onboard footage, the best I can do at the time now is 00 until they release something better. So I have released a video actually with the little cube camera I use. You can see the footage quality is really poor. But at least we tried and we gave it a go. It's something new for everybody to see. Ben, yes, I should have done actually, shouldn't I? That's what I should have done. I wonder if there is anywhere that would do that. Let's have a look. Now, you know what, Ben? My main line is 00 gauge. If I bring it over here, you see the gap there? There you go. It fits. Don't go under the tunnel. Oh no, the wheels on this are plastic. There you go. If anyone wants to know the distance apart I set my N gauge, it's 00 gauge. Nothing some pliers can't fix. There you go. Yeah, so you can see the new routing of the Premier train just going through. That green one going towards the right. That's brand new routing that is on the layout. So again, today this is the first time we've used the YouTube live feature. Now we've surpassed 1,000 viewers, so is this going well? This is my question to you guys. Is what you guys can see any good? Or is the image stuttery? The drone guys use, yeah. Well, that DJI camera is actually the same camera used on some of their drones. Believe it or not. I have a Phantom 4 as well. Has the software ever caused an accident, says Ben? That's a very difficult question to answer. I'll tell you the reason behind that is yes and no. Yes, the software has caused the accident through my fault of setting it up incorrectly. The only things that really cause accidents on this layout are where set of points don't change, or if I set something up wrong. We will continue using YouTube's built-in software in that case. It's a lot easier for me to use as well. Or I suppose the only other issue is if there's a short on the layout, which only really happens if I've knocked something or derailed something. It's my poor modelling. The software doesn't register sometimes that there's been a short and continues trying to operate trains and flipping points. And obviously the points don't flip because it's shorted. Then you end up with a lot of crashes. But that only happens very, very, very rarely now. Maybe once a month or so that I get something happen like that. And I operate pretty much every day. As this is in my living room. And that computer you saw earlier is my workstation for work. So usually I have something in the background going round as I'm working. Just one or two trains. Say when I'm just testing out some new routes or testing out a new piece of hardware I've installed, I'll give it a day's running to make sure it's all working right and there's no intermittent faults. And we've just had a short. Shouldn't have spoke about it, should I really? Let's see what happened. I can see what happened there. That Premier train keeps doing that. There's a problem with that Premier train I need to look into. Yeah, I see the problem. The Premier train, the DVT is getting stuck on one of the points because of the super elevation. One of the bogey details is getting caught on the points itself. And it's causing it to touch the other side of the prog. I'm touching wood now, I promise. I'm touching the fireplace top piece that's made of wood. Yeah, I need to buy some more hunt couplings as well. Because some of my trains still leave their coaches behind that causes accidents, because iTrain thinks the train's continued, and it hasn't. It's left half of itself behind, and we get smash ups from that. Oh dear. Para X77, may I suggest one that does the accessories and one that does the power to the track. The reason is, when you have a short, you can still change the points, but the track power goes up only. That's far more effective, and it's how I should have done mine, which I'm working on actually. I've taken off a load of the points up the other end and stuck them onto an accessory bus. But this end I haven't got round to doing yet. So that way, if there is any shorts on the track work, it won't do that. Kieran at the Heritage line says it may be worth putting some resistance on the last bogie, so the last coach shocking your rake so it detects the whole train. Yes and no. A lot of my trains have got lights in the rear end anyway, so that sorts that problem out for those. And the ones with coaches or wagons where it's just the loco pulling it, sorry, the poor modelling skills where or the model, I could just use hunt couplings, put it that way, and they'd never decouple then. I'd prefer to do that. I have got the paint for making them all create resistance, but it's just not, it's not the fix, it's a bodge rather than a fix. To fix the problem of trains running away from their stock, I'd rather fix that problem personally. Hunt couplings, I'll show you what they are. If I can find the train with them on. I've nicked them off with my Premiere set here. So as you know, in N-gauge, the couplings look like this usually, the little rapido couplings, if it will focus. There you go. Like that, and they hook into each other. When they go up or down, or side to side, they decouple. So bring on the hunt couplings, they're little magnetic ones. You can see them just there. And that's it, they stay together regardless of what you do. They're much, much more reliable. That's only with a human pulling them apart, they'll come apart. So if you've got any fixed rakes, they're the best things to go for. Yeah, you can indeed get them for 00 as well. Hunt couplings are made by West Hill Wagon Works, so search their website and you'll find them. The reason I've only got the hunt couplings on that unit between the coaches rather than the DVT is because I only have the short ones. For the DVT I needed to get a longer one, and I could get the regular length ones for them. And they're actually incredibly cheap, they're about a tenner a packet and you do 10 carriages with that. So, relatively speaking, £1 a carriage it's the cheapest way of doing anything to fix problems like that. Right, I'm afraid I'm going to have to call it a day there, guys. I actually work from home, so some of you know, and my shift is about to start in 5 minutes. So I'll let you all guys go, and I'll see you in the next one. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button, and if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.